Hey everyone, thank you for joining me for this blissful flow this morning. I have started a chakra series. Before I left for my retreat, we were working on the heart chakra. And when we talk about chakras, it's basically the wheels of energy or wheels of life force. And we talk about 7 major ones, the first one being at the base of the spine, and the 7th one being at the crown of the head. So since we stopped before I left with the heart chakra, that is the 4th one. That is the place of harmony and balance, unconditional love, empathy, forgiveness, all the good juicy stuff is said to be the seat of the soul. One of my favorite ones to teach. But we're moving up today and this week into the throat center. So most of you know, and I'll go ahead and share, I led a yoga retreat in Sedona this past week. I just came back home late last night. And if you know anything about Sedona, you've probably heard of the vortexes. The vortexes being these major, kind of whirlpools of energy that are around some of these beautiful mountains, for lack of a better term. There's Bell Rock, there's Cathedral Rock, there's the Airport Mesa, there's Boynton Canyon. All of these places are considered to be energetic vortexes, and people flock there for that reason. It's really cool that there are juniper trees that are there and grow. If they grow around these vortexes, they actually twist. And the twisting of the tree trunks actually is a result of that energy that is so strong and abundant. When we talk about the energy centers of the body, it's like the vortexes inside of us. And so there's one here at the throat. We call it the Vishuddha center. And when the chakras are balanced, they spin clockwise. So I was really paying attention to the juniper trees to see if they were twisting clockwise or counterclockwise. Almost everyone I saw was spinning clockwise, except for one I noticed going counter. Usually when it's counter, there's some sort of imbalance with the energy. When we were hiking on these trails, getting close to the vortexes, just like energy in the body can shift and move, just like energy around us can shift and move, the vortexes can shift and move as well. But we were starting to pay attention to the physical responses that were happening in the body to notice when we were entering into a vortex. And so what I personally noticed for myself, my heart would start racing and my hands would start pulsing. And when we would feel that, we would stop on the trail and we would stop and meditate. We'd just get really quiet and we would just kind of soak in that energy. We were trying to give back to these vortexes because most people come and try to take the energy, and we were sensing a lot of not negative energy, but we were sensing the vortexes were drained. They were tired. And so we were just sending gratitude and love and appreciation back to these vortexes. In one particular place, because when we think about the throat center, this is our place of expression. This is the place where we have a voice. This is the place where we can learn to speak up for ourselves. We can speak up for other people. This is a place where we also have to listen. We talked about the heart being the true intuitive center, but when we move up the ladder to the throat center, it's important not only to speak our truth, but it's also important to listen to that higher self within, so that when we're listening and dropping down into the heart, we're being led and we're trusting the heart's lead over the mind, because the mind can lead us in all kinds of directions, but the heart can take us the right direction. So this is like our inner compass. But at one point, the Boynton Canyon where we were, there was a man that shows up daily. And we were hoping to meet him, and we met him the first day, and the second time we met, he was up on top of the rock playing a flute. So the instruments that go with the 5th chakra are wind instruments. The wind instruments, we just kind of think of the heart center as well, because that's the lungs. But really, it's like the violin and the guitar, anything with strings that can pull out our heartstrings. It's the wind of the breath moving through the throat and coming out of the mouth that works with the throat center. So any type of wind instrument, flute, clarinet, anything like that is going to be an instrument here. But this man, he's probably in his late 60s, shows up daily and spends a couple hours a day in Boynton Canyon. There's red rock everywhere. He chisels these red rocks into hearts, and he will hand the heart to everyone he meets on the path. He goes to the very top of Boynton Canyon, he plays a flute for a couple hours a day, and he'll use his voice in between the songs to talk about the importance of love, to talk about the importance of forgiveness, to talk about the importance of connection, to talk about the importance of meditating or connecting with the divine. And it was so beautiful. And we finally got to talk to him one day. He ended up being a Reiki master who was led to Sedona just to be a teacher. And there was one man that had climbed up, young man, who had climbed up to the top of the canyon with him and was just sitting at his feet. And so in his silence, in between his talking and his playing, he and this young man were having this philosophical talk about life. And you could tell in that moment, that young man was really looking at him as really a spiritual teacher, as a guide. And it was so beautiful to witness. So today we're going to focus on the throat center and the neck. And in certain postures, we're going to be focusing on the extension and the flexion, or the opening and the closing, so that we can balance the energy here in this section. So let's go ahead and start in a prone position of crocodile. This is where we come onto the belly, we separate the feet, we stack the arms in front of us to provide a headrest, and allow there to be some space between the face and the floor. Almost like a tunnel, a breezeway underneath your arms, so that you have an opportunity to breathe. Soften through your glutes and low back, and if you need to shimmy your hips side to side to loosen it up, to make sure you're not gripping or holding anything here, then do that for several rounds. And then come back to stillness. Go ahead and close the eyes. Then we're going to take a few cleansing breaths, but first I want you to ground down into your body. Notice all the weight sinking down through your belly and through the tops of your thighs and feet. Start to breathe in a diaphragmatic way so that you can feel and experience your belly trying to balloon out on the in-breath and soften in on the out-breath. The color for this chakra is often depicted as a bright blue or an aqua, a blue-green. One reason I'm wearing this color today. So as you continue to breathe and ground down into your body, maybe even picture this color in your mind's eye, as if it were like the color of the Caribbean blue sea. Now we're going to take some cleansing breaths. We're going to inhale through the nose, exhale audibly through your mouth. Continue, taking a deep breath in through the nose. Exhale slowly through your mouth. And again. Cleansing breaths are a great pranayama technique for the throat center. Now on your next in-breath, let's go ahead and lift the head up. Travel the legs a little closer together and lengthen them toward the wall behind you until you feel some firmness in your buttocks. And then you'll stack your forearms in front of you, elbows aligned underneath the head of the shoulder bones. Make the forearms parallel with each other like you're creating a canal. Fingers play nice and wide. Draw the navel in and up towards the heart. Extend long through your neck, lifting up through the crown of your head. Gaze out with your eyes. This will help to strengthen the back. And it's a back bend, so it's great for the heart center. But make sure you're really engaging your lower body. Now start to breathe in the Ujjayi pranayama, where you're constricting the back of the throat. This is another great breath for the throat center. It's very medicinal if you ever get laryngitis. Take one more breath in the active way. And then as you exhale, you're going to slide your feet just slightly apart, soften your buttocks, and you're going to bow your head. Now we're going to bring some traction to the neck. So you're loosening your neck as you hang the head. This opens up the ligaments alongside the spine. This is a little bit more of the yin, passive way to do the pose. Feel free to close your eyes since your head is bowed. And since this is a more passive position, you're welcome to breathe diaphragmatically again, unless you like listening and hearing the sound of your breath. And if you're practicing that Ujjayi breath, let it be almost like a whisper. I'm actually really happy we're doing the throat center today after that long plane ride home. I got in all kinds of funky positions trying to sleep last night. Notice how you slept last night. Usually the way we sleep shows up in the neck. Be cautious if you have a crick in the neck. You don't want to cross the threshold into pain. Now that we've been hanging the head, gently begin to lean the head over towards your right shoulder. Stop at any point along the way when you start to feel that deep stretch from the back side of the ear, down through the side of the neck, into the top of the left shoulder. Stay with your breath. Sometimes when we start to feel a lot of sensation, we tend to hold or trap the breath. And keep it flowing. Couple more rounds. And then gently bring the head to center and then slightly lean it to the left. Again, to the degree where you start to feel the stretch to the back of the ear, side of the neck, top of the right shoulder. Breathe into it and notice how it may begin to dissolve some of the tension. If it remains the same, no worries. You're still bringing a nice stretch here. And hopefully by the end of the practice, we can unravel any knots. And gently bring the head to center. Lift your head back up. Lift your chin a little bit more skyward. Tilting the head back. And then exhale, we're going to roll down to the chest. Slide your hands back up underneath your shoulders. Push up to all fours. And as you exhale, just create a counter stretch here with extended child's pose. Let your hips sail back towards your feet. Let your arms stay actively reaching in front of you.
Head is just resting in between the upper arms. Take one more deep breath here, affirming as you hold. I release and relax now from all outer involvements into my own inner haven of peace. Inhale, rock up to hands and knees, and we're going to come to sit to do another pranayama technique. When you come to sit, you can do it in Sukhasana, where the ankles are under the calves or one foot in front of the other. The hands are going to start off resting on the knees. We're going to do Parvatasana, seated mountain pose. As you inhale, lift the arms up overhead, place your palms together, and then you're going to splay your elbows wide apart. Close the eyes, take a deep breath in. Draw the navel in and up towards the heart. Trap the prana here. And then exhale, breathe it out. 2 more rounds, take a deep breath in. Feel as though you're sitting on the top of a mountain, feeling the wind. And then exhale, release the air. Last one, deep breath in. Zip up through your midriff, retain the breath briefly. And then exhale, let it go. On your next in-breath, lift the arms up overhead, spray the hands down to the floor beside you, and then inhale, take that right arm up, exhale, curve over to the side. Now from here, we're gonna add in a little extra element. We're gonna bring the hand just behind the head. By the way, the element of the 5th chakra is sound and vibration. So press into your left hand, start to roll the right shoulder back, and then tilt your chin and your eyes up towards the sky. And this way you're incorporating in a little bit more of the heart center and a little bit more of the throat center. The sensory gland that goes with the throat center is hearing. Inhale, rise back to the top, and then exhale, land your hand down. Inhale, fly the left arm skyward. Exhale, curve over to Chandrasana, your crescent moon. It was nice because we left at the new moon, or right after the new moon. And so the rest of the week, we saw the crescent moon right above our retreat house. And the retreat house was called Moon Dance. It was perfect. Take your hand and cup a hold of the base of the skull. Start to roll that left shoulder open. Tilt your chin and your eyes upward. And then concentrate on your breath. So any type of pranayama exercises is great for this energy center, but especially the ones that include the throat and the mouth. On your next in breath, let's go ahead and build ourselves back up. Exhale, release that down. We're going to come into the squat position. So separate your feet as wide as your mat, but we're going to do the yin version of it. The yin version, the hands come to prayer. We bow the head into the prayer hands. We're going to practice just a moment of silence here. Hands down, spin the feet so they're parallel, straighten out through the legs, fold in half, in a wide stance Uttanasana, and I want you to nod your head no. So the throat center is about speaking our truth, speaking up for ourselves. Sometimes it's really important, especially if you're a yes person, to get into practice of learning to say no. creating some healthy boundaries. And then nod during that yes. And sometimes if we're, constantly living in fear and never breaking out of our box, it's important to say yes to some new experiences. Now take your hands to your hips and slowly begin to bring yourself up to the top. Walk your feet to the front side of your mat, bringing the feet side by side, rooting them downward into the ground, engaging through the legs, lifting through your side body, hands to prayer position at the heart, and then begin to flow. As you inhale, take the arms up to upward worship. Open the throat center wide, gaze up towards the hands. Exhale, bring the chin to be parallel to the earth again, but your thumbs are going to tap your upper back. Your arms are going to roll in towards your ears. You're going to lift through the floating ribs and gaze up towards the ceiling, leaning the head back into the hands. Deep breath in. Take the hands back up towards the ceiling. Exhale, flow down to Uttanasana. And now drop the chin in towards your chest as though you're looking towards your navel. Inhale, bring your hands up your leg bones. Lengthen out halfway, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, drop the chin back towards the chest as you bow your head. Inhale, step back to your plank. From your plank position, stack shoulders, elbows, and wrists. Keep your thighs plucking up, your navel drawing in, your eyes forward and out. Rock forward, lower down to Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, throat center active as you jut the chin skyward. Curl your toes under, roll it back, downward facing dog. Now the neck is neutral here. It's neutral so that we can gaze in the direction of the feet. You're still pressing through the palms, extending long through your arms and spine. Gaining the benefits of being upside down. This is one of our inverted poses. On your next in-breath, you're going to lift up through your toes. Exhale, sink to your knees. And sink the belly, open up your throat, cow tilt. Keep your toes curled, because as you exhale, you draw the belly in, and then push back to downward facing dog. All right, our focus is Vishuddha today. Inhale, lift to the toes, sink the knees, take this version of cow tilt. Exhale, navel in, neck neutralizes, and we push back to down dog. Good, continue that flow. Inhale, cow tilt. Exhale, belly in, downward facing dog. Continue this 2 more rounds. Feel free to go at your own pace in accordance to your own breath. One more, make it really meaningful and intentional. Deliberate action with each portion of the breath. Now holding your downward facing dog. Inhaling, walking the feet forward or hopping the feet forward to Ardha Uttanasana at the top. Exhale, bow out, chin to chest, look up towards the navel. Inhale all the way up to upward worship. Exhale, hands to the upper back, gaze straight ahead. Roll the elbows in and up. Gaze up. Deep breath in. Reach the hands overhead. Exhale, come right through the center. Uttanasana, separate the hands. Chin to chest today. Inhale, looking forward and out. And that can be more neutral here. Exhale, fold back down. Chin to chest today. Inhale, step back plank. Form your plank, get long and strong. Exhale, tip forward, lower down, chaturanga. Elbows squeeze to the side body to work those triceps. Inhale, nice big open throat today, up dog. Exhale, roll it back, downward facing dog. Enjoy being and breathing here. And then exhale, let's land down to the knees. When we land to the knees, this time we're gonna untuck the toes. We're gonna anchor that left shin especially. We're gonna pick up the right knee and flex the right foot. Now, when we flex the right foot, you're gonna get a little bit of bow in your back. So you can go ahead and lift your face and look forward so the throat's open. We're gonna concentrate on squeezing the glutes. It will come naturally when you pump the foot in the air, okay? And you're gonna do 3 pumps. Inhale, lifting the foot upward. Exhale, just softening it downward. 3rd round. And then as you exhale, you're gonna contract your core like cat stretch and draw the forehead towards the knee. Inhale, lift your right foot again, lift the head up. Pump it up 3 times on the inhale and softening the buttocks on the exhale. So 3 lifts up, maintaining the back bend, and then exhale, contract and round and hold for an extra breath. Last one, inhale. Pumping the foot up on the inhale, softening on the exhale. 3 breaths here. Exhale, contract and curl in and hold for an additional breath. And release. Same thing to the left. Inhale, left foot lifts. The foot is flexed. And you're lifting the foot up towards the ceiling panel, contracting the left side of the buttocks. Exhale, release. 2 more. Inhale, lift. Exhale, relax. Inhale, pump up. Good. This time, exhale, tuck in. Hold for an additional breath. Again, inhale, left foot lifts, head lifts. Couple more pumps in the air. It's important to keep strong buttocks to maintain a healthy body. Hold for additional breath when you contract and curl in. And then take your 3rd round. Take the cat stretch. Hold an additional breath. And release. This time you're going to drop back towards your heels. Take your hands and wrap around you, palms open at your feet. Resting on the 3rd eye. Imagine in your mind's eye, you're staring at the Caribbean blue sea. All those shades that we see around the islands. And imagine that flowing through your body. Signs of an imbalance in the chakra is excessive talking, inability to listen, stuttering, the fear of speaking up or in public, being introverted or extreme shyness. On your next inhale, stretch the arms forward and out, or rock up the hands and knees. Exhale, downward facing dog. From Adho Mukha Svanasana, we need to land the feet at the top of the mat. So you can, again, meditationally walk or bend the knees and hop. Straightening out the legs, lifting halfway up upon arrival. Exhale, bow in, chin to chest today. Inhale all the way up to upward worship. Exhale, hands to the upper back. Inhale, arms get active again. Little chest bump up. Gaze up. Arms lift overhead. Exhale, pour right down through your center. Chin to chest today. Inhale, halfway up, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, bow down. Inhale, take plank. We're taking that vinyasa, lowering on the out breath, coming into up dog on the in breath, rolling to down dog on the out breath. Neutralize your neck here. We're using it a lot today. Think about how the neck has to hold the head up most of the day and how heavy the head is. So give it some relief here. On your next inhale, lift high to the tippy toes. Exhale, sink to your knees. And then flatten the tops of the feet to your mat. All right, walk your arms out to puppy. So in puppy pose, we're not draping down into the shoulder joints yet. We actually are structured through the shoulders. And it's a modification for downward facing dog if you're ever having any trouble with your ankles or your wrist. This can be a great modification. Now we're going to go from puppy and use pranayama to sink into melting heart down to our chin to work the throat. No weight in the chin though. So when you're ready, take a deep breath in. Exhale, breathe out through the mouth and surrender down. And then inhale, puppy. Draw up through the shoulders and armpits. And then exhale, melting heart. Do that 3 more times. Inhale, puppy, suction up. Exhale, melt it down. 2 more, focus on the throat. Last one. This time when you melt down, decide, is it better for your neck to be on the chin or your brow? Strike either one and hold. So in these higher energetic centers, right, the heart, the throat, the third eye, the crown, we are activating those when we're inverted. And even though you're not completely flipped upside down in a headstand or shoulder stand, this still works for the throat because we're angling the body towards the ground. The traumas that can have a negative effect in the center is lying, verbal abuse, excessive yelling, excessive criticism, secrets, authoritarian parents that never let you talk back, or a chemical dependent family that makes you not trust, not talk, not feel. Inhale, let's come up. Slide your hands back, curl the toes under, draw into your core as you shift back to downward facing dog. Again, you can meditationally walk or float the feet to the top of the mat, Ardha Uttanasana on arrival. Exhale, bow out to the chest. Inhale all the way up. This is going to be our last sun sal. Palms together overhead. Exhale, hands to the upper back. Draw the elbows in and up. Puff open through the chest. Lift your eyes towards the sky. Inhale, create that steeple for the temple of body. Exhale, humbly fold. Inhale, halfway up. Neutral neck here. Exhale, bow out, chin the chest. Inhale, take your plank. Streamline the body so you feel long and strong. Make sure the breath feels long and strong as well. Rock forward, lower down to chaturanga. Inhale to Urdhva Mukha. Exhale to Adho Mukha. Gently lower down to the knees. And you're gonna send your right leg to the side, turning the toes away from your mat. All right, ground your left hand. Inhale, when you spin open to stargazer, you're actually gonna turn your head to look up. It was really cool. Every night we went stargazing because Sedona is considered one of the few cities in the world that reduces light pollution for the sake of being able to gaze up at the evening sky. So much activity around Sedona, so much you can see. You can actually see the Milky Way. So many planets, so many stars, and other things. Exhale, bring the right hand down. Gaze down. Bring your right knee to table. Extend your left leg from the toes away. Ground your right hand. Inhale, spin open to stargaze. Imagine that you're gazing up yourselves towards the constellation. It was also really cool. We went to these old native grounds, and especially ceremonial grounds where the shamans used to, well, they used to be under hallucinogens, and they would paint on the wall. And there were other things painted on the wall, such as their calendar. And they showed us how when the light shines at the summer solstice and winter solstice, how it became their calendar. And markings that would show them when to plant according to where the sun was shining on these stones. People really were dependent on the stars being their map and their guide. Exhale, lower the left hand down, the left knee to the floor, curl the toes under, shoot right back to downward facing dog. From Adho Mukha Svanasana, we're going to end these sun salutes by bringing the feet to the top of the mat, however you want to arrive. Lifting halfway up as you do. Exhale, folding down. Now, go ahead and begin to lift your heels, bend your knees. We're going to stack the hands onto the knees and slowly begin to erect the spine, so it feels more vertical. That same Parvantasana we did sitting, we're going to bring the arms overhead, palms together. Chin parallel to the earth. Balancing on the balls of the feet. Finding one point to gaze at. As we exhale, we're going to fan the arms around. We're going to come down to a seat. Slide your seat bone back. And keep your hair down if you have it up. Have your block close by. And we're going to roll down. So flip your hands open, scoop into your belly. That's that third chakra. Use your core strength to roll it down. Go nice and slow. Squeeze the belly more whenever you find your weak link. And then lower the head down. So some of the most ideal postures for the throat center is bridge and shoulder stand, and we're going to be working on those today. Walk and travel your heels back so they align under your knees. And on your next inhalation, keep your arms beside you. Press to the soles of the feet. Lift thighs, hips, abdomen, chest. So when we were on our knees and dropping into puppy and melting heart, I mentioned it's good for the throat due to the inversion. You're doing a similar inversion here, right? Hips over heart, heart over throat. We're bringing some traction to the neck. Press down through the mounds of the big toes and try to roll your inner thighs towards one another. Keep your thighs active, your glutes strong. Breathe into your belly. And then exhale, roll it down. Once you roll down, catch your knees, hug them in. Bring the head off the floor by contracting your core. Like a cannonball. Exhale, roll back down to the upper back and head. Release the knees so the feet can flatten down and your arms can flatten down. Inhale, second, Setu Bandhasana bridge, rising back up. Again, this is one of the main postures for this chakra. We're going to be doing 3 of these today. What I'd like you to try in this one is tucking the shoulders one at a time under the body. See if your hands can lace together and then straighten out the arms under the body. Notice how the chest lifts more and the chin tucks more. 3. Affirming as you hold, I offer every thought as a bridge to divine grace. Exhale, release the arms and hands. Roll it down 1 vertebra at a time. Hug the knees in. Contract your core and lift the head off the floor. Now this third one, we're actually going to come to a supporting bridge. So when you're ready, roll back down. Grab your block. Inhale, press up to Setu Bandhasana. Slide the block under the sacrum. Rest on it. And you can fan your arms to your sides. You can flip your palms open. So the upper back is not as scrunched in. Even though there's less effort here, it can still benefit the throat center. And it can still calm the mind and nervous system. It can still be good for the thyroid gland, for the spleen. This is the one you would use if you want to cool down your body if you are having a hot flash. All right, you wouldn't want to do the engagement one because engaging the muscles heats the body. This is the one to cool the body. Now let's go into waterfall. So let's fly the feet up. So these cliff dwellings and places we went to, I think they had a different name than Hopi, but it really originated with the Hopi tribe that moved from the north down to the south out of hunting and gathering to more of an agricultural tribe. But they stayed near some of the canyons that had waterfalls at the time. It was between 800 and 1400 AD. And even though there wasn't any waterfalls because, there's been more drought in the last hundreds of years, you could see the stains from the waterfalls, and they had black streaks coming down the red rocks. So this waterfall pose is really good for draining the fluid in the lower body. It's good for varicose veins. It's good for our circulation, heart. Still bringing it down into the bridge of the neck. So remember this pose if you don't want to do shoulder stand, okay? Because this can be your alternative, especially if you have neck issues and you don't want to lift all your body over your head. But if you want to try shoulder stand, let's lower the feet to the floor. And if you're not going to do shoulder stand, you may want to do supported bridge for a while and then relift the feet to waterfall. So feel free to contain that block under you if that's the case. Otherwise, roll down away from the block. I think all of you have enough experience to know shoulder stand. Erin, you seem like you have a lot of experience just watching you before class.
Yeah.
So go ahead and rock your hips up, catch them with your hands. Walk your hands down towards your shoulder blades, point your toes skyward, roll your thighs inward. So this again is an ideal pose for the chakra. So if you're having those signs of imbalances, these are the poses to practice. They will help. If you want to pike the legs down to plow pose, halasana, you're welcome to drop the legs over the face. The toes may or may not tap the floor. Just do what you can. If you're ready to come out of plow, pike the legs back up to shoulder stand, Sarvangasana. Point the toes upward. You're attempting to stack the heels, knees, and hips, and the hips over the shoulders. It may not be perfect. Just try your best. Now pull in through your navel, contract your core, just enough so that your hips slide just forward towards my direction. Place your fingertips or hands to the ground and roll it down one vertebra at a time. Lower the legs. Now, a good counter pose after that sequence is fish pose. So we're gonna slide the hands under the body. Press with the elbows, lift the chest high, and bow the head back. This is really great for the neck. Unless you're not supposed to go this direction with your neck. In that case, you can be more modified by staying on your back with your knees bent, your arms pushed down beside you, so you just squeeze the shoulders towards the spine, and it's not as dramatic in your neck. Affirming my soul floats on waves of cosmic light. Imagine the waves of cosmic light being that aqua blue. Take one more breath, and then lower the head back down. Release the hands from underneath you, and let's take happy baby pose as a counter. Taking a hold of the feet, ankles line over the knees splay apart away from the chest, and you're actually trying to root down through your sacrum. Breathing in, breathing out. Once you're in position, just breathe. And we're going to draw the knees together and roll to the left side of the body. When you roll completely to your left side, left ear, straighten your arms and stack your right hand over your left. Now in this twist, I want you to focus again on your throat and neck. So as you inhale, lift your right arm skyward and allow your head to turn with your right hand. Keep gazing towards the right hand. Eventually opening that arm to the right side of the body, turning the head the same direction. And then feel free to close your eyes. If that strains your neck whatsoever, then do less. Meaning you can turn your chin back in line with your chest.
So we're allowing the twist to come all the way up into the cervical portion today. Listen to the flute in the background. Crack your eyelids open. Follow your gaze with your right hand. Slowly lift the right arm skyward. Slowly turn your head with. Bring it over to join the left hand, turning to your left ear. And then roll to your right side. Stacking on your right ear, palm to palm. Same thing. Inhale, lifting the left arm, following your gaze with that hand. Slowly sailing it over to the left side. Turning your head that direction if your neck doesn't resist. Twists really are good for all 7 chakras, even though we primarily focus on the 3rd. But turning the head this way incorporates the 5th. Inhale, slowly open the eyes, lift the left arm skyward. Turning your head to the right. And then push down through your left hand and slowly come up. We are ready for our Shavasana. So if you want to be fighting your back and forth, you can do that. But I thought it might be nice to do the restorative version finish if you're not, if your back's feeling okay for a back bend. So if that's the case, you can follow my direction. If you try just a singular bolster and it hurts your low back, if you fold your blanket short ways in half and sit on it, that will alleviate that pressure. Same thing with your neck if you take the blanket to the other side. Otherwise, you can spill over and do a restorative fish this way. And this way you're getting an opening in your throat and slight inversion with your head. Feel free to test it out to see if that's the choice for today or not. Give you time to settle in. Now that you're in this position, I want to share with you the healing practices and some affirmations for this center. Healing practices for the throat involve the voice, chanting, and singing. Storytelling and journaling. Psychotherapy that uses talking, describing and sharing. And then in those moments where you feel like you're talked out or you're drained, it's silence, sacred silence. Now, before I give to you some silence to enjoy the flute music, affirm mentally within, my voice matters. I have the right to speak up and be heard. I hear and speak my truth, and I express myself with clear intent. This is the lesson from this vortex that resides in our throat. yourself back to the present moment, to the space that you're in. Listening to the music, engaging with your breath. Slowly exiting the pose you chose. Perhaps hugging the knees in if you're flat on your back. Bending the knees and rolling away from the bolster if you're still in that restorative fish. Coming up to take a seat. I'm gonna turn this off. That when comes instead, we can sit in this sacred silence. It may not be perfectly silent. The mantra for this chakra is hum, H-U-M. We're going to end our practice chanting that together. We'll chant it like we would Om, except it's home. Deep breath in. Hum. And like hum. Hum from your throat and feel the vibration through your limbs. Bringing your hands to Anjali Mudra, prayer position at your heart. Grateful that you joined me for this practice today. I hope you received what you needed. Please take anything you learned with you off the mat so that we can live and be yoga. Om peace, peace, peace. Namaste. Namaste. Thank you.